Mic check. Hey y'all. So somebody asked me on one of my previous videos, or they commented saying, I love your accent. Do you mind doing a video about your experience as a Black woman in Thailand? I'm considering moving to either Chiang Mai or Hua Hin. Okay, so I'm going to be responding to this comment. First of all, sharing my experience as a Black woman here in Thailand, living with my family. I'll also give you guys a quick backstory on how we got here. I won't make it too long, I promise. I know I can be a talker. I'll make it short and sweet for those of you guys who are new here. If you are new here, welcome, Wagwan. What's up, beautiful people? I'm 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝘁, and on this channel, I'm just sharing all things raw and real about living abroad, meaning leaving the United States and living abroad. I won't necessarily say Thailand because we do travel. We don't know if Thailand will be our final home, but for now, Thailand is home. And we are doing it as a family, and we left the US in 2024. My background, I'm also Caribbean as well. So that's a quick little backstory. I've done actually other videos about why I decided to leave the US and why I don't really see myself really living there right now. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about my experience as a Black woman, and I'm going to touch on a couple of points and also sharing what I think about Chiang Mai as well as Hua Hin. Okay, I may not so much touch on Bangkok because they didn't ask, but I will share my two pieces, my 2 cents on Bangkok as well, since that's where I'm currently based out of. We've been living here for over a year, close to a year and a half now. Okay, so I will say this first things first is that as a Black person, I feel like anywhere in the world that you go where you are not the majority, it is very difficult to not notice that you somehow stand out, okay? Unless you are living in a country, culture, society, wherever, where Black is the majority, okay? Like if you live maybe in some countries within Africa or some countries within the Caribbean. I was actually born in Jamaica, so I know what that is like. But even though there were things like classism and colorism, though, even in Jamaica. And I noticed that that is sometimes a thing here amongst the Thai people, though, themselves, not necessarily with foreigners. So, with that said, my experience here as a Black woman, I feel welcome. I don't feel like I am treated less than the Thai people. In fact, sometimes I feel like I sometimes get a special treatment per se, I guess as a foreigner. Uh, not even just out, but even with my locals. Like my locals, they're very friendly. I should say the locals in my community, right? The locals in my village, we call housing communities here in Thailand, villages, right? The locals are so warm and welcoming to me, my entire family, or baby boy. He plays outside with the other children, and the adults play with the other children, and they include him in what they're doing, throwing ball, whatever that is, talk to him, engage with him. So kind, you guys. Like the Thai people are truly, truly kind. Now you do have your bad apples, okay? We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that, all right? Thailand is not perfect. Anywhere that you go, it is not going to be perfect. However, for the most part, you guys, the Thai people are so kind. Ever since our baby boy, he came here, we brought him here when he was like 11 months, 10 months old. And so at this point, he's been living here, I guess going on for the majority of his life now. And they've always been so kind and gentle to him and just helpful whenever we're out in public. Actually, sometimes we've had to set boundaries like, hey, don't touch my baby, okay? They love babies and they always want to interact with babies, and they've always been so helpful. Like if we're out in public and they could see that we need assistance, they're just ready and willing to help without us asking. They're just like that, and you can tell that they are so genuine. And it is just so refreshing to see because, like I said, as a Black person, a person of color, it is hard to not stand out. You're going to stand out. Bangkok is very like modern. They're used to seeing foreigners and tourists come here, and so we don't get stares. Sometimes people are curious about, where we're from. So they will ask me, "Where are you from?" Out of curiosity. And, when I will tell them, they would say stuff like, "Oh, that's so far." They just want to start up a conversation. Um, Honestly, guys, I've had some of the most genuine interactions here in Thailand with the locals. I mean, the locals have been just so kind to me. Like, I can give you countless experiences, and I've shared a couple of that on my other channel, my main channel, but I'll give you guys a couple just to not, throw things out. But like at the markets, sometimes when we like support the locals at the markets, we would be regulars and they would light up when they see us just genuinely, and they would try to give us additional things because we always buy from them. So they would give us like an extra this or an extra that just because we support them, without expecting any money from us. I experienced that a lot. There's this one vendor that I go to a lot at a local market, another local market. And I remember one time, I think I had taken out cash and then I went to another vendor and I ended up spending most of the cash there. And then by the time I went to her, I did not have enough cash on me to get all the stuff. And I was basically telling her, like, hold on, I'm going to go get more cash. And she was like, no, 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 just come back next week or next time or something like that, you guys. She basically let me leave with this bag of fresh produce without paying for it. She was just like, "Don't even bother, just come back." And I'm just like, where? Like, where in the US somebody's gonna do that? Like, they're so trustworthy. They're really, truly trustworthy here. And I've just had just countless experiences, from coffee shops that we go to wherever. Like I feel like I'm treated well, to be honest. They're very respectful, very kind, very, very, very respectful. If anything, I would say that I perhaps get a preferential treatment. Like I said, maybe because I'm a foreigner. They probably treat all foreigners well, but I do feel really welcomed. And yeah, especially when I try to speak the local language, I feel like, the Thai people, anywhere that you go, they appreciate when you try or you attempt to speak the local language. It does not matter where you go. And that has been one thing for me. Since I got to Thailand, I started teaching myself Thai, right? At least the basics, the minimum. And I'm learning every day. I would say every couple of days, I probably learn a new word or something. And slowly I'm able to like put some stuff together. I at least know the basics, y'all. Thai is not like the easiest thing to learn because it's such a tonal language. But as long as you know the basics, you'll be fine, okay? I know how to tell a driver to go left, to go right, to go straight, my street number or house number, or how much is this? If I ask how much is this, which I can ask how much is this in Thai, if they tell me how much it is, I know the translation to that. I can say numbers and all of those things in Thai, the amount of stuff. And a lot of times the Thai people would be impressed, like, oh my gosh, your Thai is really good. And I would be like, need noi, need noi. And they'll be like, no, it's really, really good. Like, I would think that my Thai is like very little, like minimal, and they would be thoroughly impressed. And I'm like, okay. And so, they appreciate that. They appreciate you trying to learn the local language. So, yes, there are a lot of places that you may go in Thailand where they may speak English, especially in certain professions. Like if you go to the dentist, the doctor, like the nurses, and certain professions and certain retail stores and certain places, they'll speak English. But there are certain areas, communities, maybe local markets where they don't speak English at all. And so I think it just makes sense to learn the local language, the basics. At the end of the day, you're in their country, right? Thai is that's the local language, right? So why not learn it? And so I made it point of duty to learn the local language, learn the basics. Where's the bathroom? I need the bathroom. Just basic stuff. Okay. I can't have a full blown back and forth conversation, but I can ask you how you are. I can tell you my name, basic stuff, Anyway, I just said that to say think Thai people in general, and not just Thai people, but in general, anywhere that you go, they'll appreciate you trying to learn the local language. Let's see. Yes, there are some times we may go certain places and people may look at us, right? Not in an ill-mannered way, like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? I don't want you here, that type of look. But more so a curiosity, like, where are they from? Like, that's interesting. It's so funny when like little kids, like little kids, like they will just stare. Like they will just stare at you. I just laugh because it's like they don't know any better, right? They don't know to not stare so hard. They've probably never really seen Black people. And so they're just looking like, oh, where they're from or whatever. And so it doesn't really bother me when children do it. It does sometimes bother me when people from other cultures who are, okay, I'm not going to say that. All right. There has been occasions where people may stare. A lot of times, though, I notice it's from people who are sometimes not Thai, sometimes the Chinese people that come here. I'll be honest. I'll be blatantly honest. And yes, I can tell. I know the language now and I can tell the difference in the language and the facial features and different things like that. And usually the Chinese people, they stare a lot. And I'm sure you've probably seen other videos, random videos of, Black people talking about their experiences, in China and stuff like that. They stare. They don't know, they don't necessarily have boundaries. They don't understand boundaries with staring and different things like that. And they will literally stare at you with their mouth wide open. Okay. So we've experienced that from Chinese people here in Thailand. In Thailand, again, it's more so out of curiosity sometimes if it does happen, but it does not happen so often, especially here in Bangkok. Now, I will say this, since this person was talking about Hua Hin and Chiang Mai. I'm going to give you my take on how I feel about Hua Hin and how I feel about, before I get to that, let me tell you about the negative experiences. I've never really had negative experiences like, okay, when you compare the US, the microaggression is real. The passive aggression, the microaggression, it is real in the US. In Thailand, I do not experience that. If I'm going to be honest, I just don't. It's night and day. I feel pampered here. I feel treated well. Like whenever I go to the spas or just wherever, there's just I don't feel stereotyped. I don't feel profiled, racially profiled. I just don't feel that here. That's just my honest experience. I feel great as a Black woman living in Thailand, raising my Black boy, my Black son, okay, with my family. Like we feel safe. I can walk outside at night, you guys. Like I can walk outside at night by myself and not have an ounce of fear. Now, mind you, anywhere that you go, you want to have situational awareness. I don't care where you are, how safe it feels, have situational awareness, right? But when I tell you I feel so safe, especially here in my community, I used to go for walks late at night. I don't do that anymore. I'm expecting and yeah, I'm not doing that right now. I don't feel like it. But anyway, when I was trying to do my steps and stuff like that, catch up on my steps for the day, I would take walks at night, like 11 p.m., and I would feel perfectly fine. We have security cameras throughout the community. Again, it's very safe. It's gated also. But even outside of that, you just don't feel threatened here in Thailand. Again, situational awareness, but I feel perfectly safe. And you guys, you will notice that when we go to like co-working spots or malls or plazas and different things like that, people would literally like leave their laptops, leave their bags, and go for lunch. They are nowhere to be found. And sometimes that's why we can't find spots to co-work, even in these big like co-work spots, because people are just like, I'm out. I secured my seat. Now let me go get lunch and I'll be back when I come back. And you best believe that when they come back, their laptops or whatever they left there is going to still be there. Well, that's just the culture, you guys. That is just the culture here. So I touched on, all right, so let me talk about Hua Hin as a Black woman. Okay. Straight up, you guys, I thought I really wanted to love Hua Hin right? I've been doing my research even before we moved to Thailand. We knew about Hua Hin, and then we finally went there last year in December to feel it out to see if it is somewhere that we would want to stay or live as a family, because what I'm looking for is a more slower pace, more greenery, less busyness. Even though I'm really grateful for where we live, where we physically live or home, it is in a, like I said, a gated community. It is tucked away. So when I'm at home, I don't even feel like I'm in Bangkok. There are no cars going by, beeping noise. It's none of that. It is a quiet community with some greenery. And so it does not feel like Bangkok per se. And so I'm really appreciative for that because I am not a big city person. It's really interesting to me that Bangkok works for me. I like to say Bangkok has somewhat of an organized chaos type of culture, is what I should say. And so it works for now. But anyway, in this season, I've been feeling like I want to be somewhere that's a little bit more calming, even when I step out, a lot more nature, where I can ground myself more. I'm feeling more Bali vibe, if you guys have been following me, Bali, Indonesia is one of my favorite places on earth. And I've been to, dozens of countries. I've been to a few countries, quite a few countries. But there's something about the island of Bali that it just has my heart. And lately I've been craving something like that. Hua Hin is not it for us. Like I really wanted to like Hua Hin and we did not. If you know anything about Hua Hin, it's very European retirement centric type of thing. It's a lot of retirees go there. And what we've experienced was a lot of stairs. Like people would just stare. And it seems like there are families there, but it seems like it's mostly for retirees. And people just stare too much, honestly. And when I say people, I'm not even talking about the local people. It's more so the foreigners. And that's what always gets me. We experienced the same thing in Pattaya, Thailand. Okay. The exact same thing. I was just like, this is not it. People stare too much. It's too much. And it was the foreigners. It was not even the locals. And so I'm just like, no, Hua Hin is not it. A lot of retirees are moving there, which is fine. But I've heard different stories. Families, I guess, somewhat having issues with people. It just doesn't seem like it's the right fit for us at this time. And what's interesting is, because I thought I was crazy. What's interesting is I met another queen, right, here in Bangkok. And, her and her husband moved here some time ago, I think last year. And I did not even talk about my experience in Hua Hin, but she was talking about her experience in Hua Hin. And I was like, girl, I was like, I thought I was crazy. Like, I knew I was not tripping. She basically had this same experience. She was like, she did not like it. Like, people were staring, like all of these things that I'm like, wow. So it's not just me, And people may be like, oh, you wouldn't know that somebody's staring if you weren't staring, but come on. Like, it was just intense. So I don't think Hua Hin is a place for us. And like I said, I really wanted to like it. And it's really interesting because I've been seeing quite a few folks, moving there and how they love it and different things like that. But I don't know. Everybody has their own experience. And when you've experienced so many other things, it's just easy to quick pick up on certain things. You know what I mean? Like in Bali, Indonesia, I feel free. The people are some of the kindest people, like the locals. OMG. I'm connected to some of the locals in Bali even today. Bali has my heart. Okay. And in another video, I'll probably go into why we're not there right now. But yeah, Hua Hin is just not it. So this person who messaged me saying that you're considering Hua Hin, that's my experience. Now, everybody's lived experience is different. What I experienced may not be your experience. You may go to Hua Hin and you may absolutely love it. So I'm not sharing this to say don't go. Definitely go and experience it for yourself and see how it makes you feel. But I'm just sharing what my experience was with Hua Hin. Now, Chiang Mai. I feel like Chiang Mai is more of a Bali vibe, which I've been feeling really drawn to visit Chiang Mai for a while now. and possibly call it home. I don't know. I don't know why I'm thinking this, why I feel so strongly about it, because I've never been there. I've actually never been to Chiang Mai yet. But based on my research about the holistic lifestyle in Chiang Mai, it just feels more like me. The nature, the greenery, the mountains, the calm, the peace. Again, the holistic nature, the markets, the fresh fruits, the herbs, all of that kind of stuff, which I'm into. I'm into natural herbs and plant medicine and different things like that. And Chiang Mai has a lot of that. One of the only cons for me with going to Chiang Mai for a long time, or for long term, I should say, is burning season, right? So Chiang Mai gets a lot of that, right? When it's burning season. Talking about burning season, doesn't seem like it really started this year. I don't know what's happening. It's probably delayed. I don't know, but it's about to be March, and usually burning season starts January and goes through like end of March-ish, April. So I don't know what's happening. It doesn't seem like it's really here, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I'll take it, because burning season is no fun in Thailand. That's something to consider also if you're planning to move to like Chiang Mai. Well, hey, not so much like south of Thailand. You don't necessarily have to worry about it. But the further north you go in Thailand, you may want to consider the burning season and having to stay indoors as much as possible during the day, and having air humidifiers and air purifiers and different things like that. But anyway, to make a long story short, I've been really feeling called to go to Chiang Mai. I don't know if this is this nurturing season that I'm in. You know, I have a toddler, I have a 2-year-old. He just turned 2 a few months ago, and we have one on the way. And I just want to be in a place that reminds me of Bali, Indonesia. Always goes back to Bali, Indonesia. Again, I'll share maybe in another video why I'm not just in Bali, Indonesia if I love it so much, you know. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking for a place that is very grounding, very calming. If you research Chiang Mai, there's a reason why it is so calming and peaceful. There's some research behind the, I guess, the spirituality and different things like that there. I won't get too deep into that because I don't want to share the wrong information, but definitely do your research on Chiang Mai. And if you're into things like that, natural holistic living, grounding, nature, Zen, all of those things, Chiang Mai may be for you. Again, I've never been there, but it just feels like I've been there, you know? So yeah, in general, I don't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to come on here to answer the question of what is my experience like here in Thailand as a Black woman. And I will just say that I feel pampered. I feel supported here as a Black woman. I feel respected here as a Black woman. I feel welcomed. I don't feel discriminated against. I want to be 100% completely honest with you guys. As I said before, this channel is about sharing the raw and real, right? I do want to share one particular experience where I was just like, it literally had me in tears. Okay. I will say that you may find some unpleasant experiences with like the Grab taxi drivers, the official Grab taxi drivers, the yellow and the green taxi drivers. When I say unpleasant, not unsafe. It's definitely not unsafe. It's just they have a tendency to sometimes they will say, okay, they're picking you up, and then it says, okay, they're 15 minutes away, and then before you know it, they're 20 minutes away, then they're 21 minutes away. Like, where are you going? Why are you not just coming to pick me up? And they're doing this because they want you to cancel for whatever reason. Like, they changed their mind and they don't want to pick you up, but then they want you to cancel, and they'll message you and they'll tell you, hey, cancel. I'm just like, no, you want to cancel, so you need to cancel. They'll do things like that. And sometimes they do things where they'll arrive to you to pick you up, and then out of nowhere, they just choose to cancel. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, you're already here. Like, why are you canceling? What point was that? You literally got here. Why are you canceling? And sometimes it's not even about them seeing you or, oh, you're a Black person, they don't want to take you. Sometimes they don't even see you. Okay. I've had this happen to me quite a couple of times, to be honest. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. So I don't know. The Grab taxi drivers have a slight aggressive culture. I don't know what it is. So yeah, we've experienced that sometime, which now that's why I'm so grateful that we have our own vehicle now, living here. And I know some people may wonder, why would you want a car in Bangkok? But trust me, when you have a family, you realize that it can be so convenient. For an entire year, for the entire first year of living in Bangkok, we only did public transportation. We did the Grabs, you know, the SkyTrain, the MRTs, all of it, the tuk-tuks, all of it, the Grab bikes, you name it, we've done it. Okay. But with a family, we realized that it was just so much more convenient to have our own vehicle, to be able to just get up and go and say, hey, let's go to this park, hang out for an hour, then let's stop here after that, and then come home. So we have saved so much money in transportation, literally, by just having our own vehicle. Like, I've done the math several times and I'm just like, wow, I'm so grateful that we purchased our own vehicle and we just purchased it cash, and it just made so much sense. Yes, if you're moving to Bangkok as a solo person, or maybe even just as a couple, you may not necessarily need a vehicle, right? If you're going to do the Grab bikes and all of that, those are pretty affordable. And like I said, I've done that many times before, many times over. But also now, because I'm expecting, and for emergency purposes, we just want to be able to just go and not deal with those Grab drivers. Okay. Canceling and doing all these things. We wanted to be able to just go when we wanted to go. And when you have a toddler, you're trying to get home. And sometimes we found that when it's like rainy season and it's like raining, pouring, and there's a high demand, you cannot get a Grab taxi like in a busy area. And so when we're with our toddler, we had this happen to us one time, you guys. We could not, we waited so long for a vehicle, and it was night. It was past our son's bedtime, and we just wanted to get home, but we couldn't. Like, we were at this mall. It was Mega Bangna, and that's a busy mall. And so many people were waiting for Grab taxis. We could not get a Grab taxi. So like situations like that is just so nice to be able to just hop into our vehicle and just go take our son places, just do things. And we save so much on Grab because, again, traveling as a family, we're not jumping on Grab bikes. Right, I'm not taking my son on a Grab bike. Okay. So traveling as a family, it's Grab taxis, and it adds up. Though that 200 baht here, 300 baht here, round trip 600 baht total, it adds up. So we save a lot more money just having our own vehicle. Yeah. With that said, if you guys want me to do a cost of living breakdown, let me know in the comments. Okay. Let me know in the comments, because I was back and forth about this, whether or not I want to do a cost of living video, just because cost of living is really relative. It's relative to the lifestyle that you want. It's relative to whether or not you have a family, how many mouths you're feeding, like different things like that. So I wasn't sure if it made sense to do a cost of living type of video, because what I may spend living here in Bangkok, Thailand, you may not spend that. You may not spend half that. You may end up spending double. I don't know. Depends on your lifestyle. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. However, I did do a video like that, a breakdown video like that on my main channel, 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝘁_Empress. That was like my first channel. I started this channel so that I can just share more of what's on my mind, in regards to, traveling and doing life abroad as a mom, an entrepreneur, you know, business owner, wife, whichever, just sharing the raw, my travel experiences and leaving the US and different things like that. Just talking about whatever comes to mind versus mixing my business content, which I realized that I was messing with the algorithm, talking about travel stuff and living abroad when I really was talking about business stuff on that channel. So, but you can definitely still find that video. But either way, that was like over a year ago. So I think it's time for an update. If you want me to do an updated breakdown, sit down video of cost of living here in Thailand, in Bangkok, Thailand, let me know in the comments below. Okay. And I'll definitely be sure to do that. I'll share things like our rent expense, our car insurance expense, which y'all won't even believe me when I tell you. Okay, we don't have a car payment because, like I said, we bought it cash, and still different things like that. We do have a nanny here, and I'll share like the range of what that looks like, different things like that. So let me know in the comments below. Okay, be sure to like this video if you like this video, and if you want me to continue to share more content like this. I'm also sharing my journey of giving birth abroad here in Thailand. So be sure to subscribe as well if you want me to share that journey with you guys and if you want to follow my journey. So like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the description below. Again, it's your girl 𝗖𝗿𝗲𝘁𝘂𝘁. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Be blessed. Bye.